Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Please, thank y'all for waiting. Yeah, let's go.
Smelling good, that's for sure.
I've been dying in here all week.
You a busy man, man. We trying to bring them get out of your hair, man.
Oh man, y'all not in my hair, man. I appreciate y'all being here.
Feast before us.
Right. You know, around the table of food, man, we can conquer a lot of problems.
Oh yeah.
Change a lot of lives, and that's what we believe, man. Is like food is essential. You know, it's essential to, countries meet around a table,
Yes.
right? So when we have social problems in our community, as far as I'm concerned, let's bring food and let's eat and let's break bread and let's solve it, And we're in a unique position to get to kind of fight food insecurity around the table with food, communicating with people, understanding, their journey and what they're going through.
No Cap family, we appreciate y'all joining us once again. This is No Cap Radio. It's your boy Reese, and of course,
We got Domi.
Dow Jones. And if y'all know us, man, how many times we just say we want to do something like this?
Man, countless.
So we stay hungry, so we wanted to come in and just have some good food. Great food is what it looks like. Great conversation. We getting to do that today. We are in Spotsylvania, Virginia at Hope Heroes. I'm sitting here with the owner, Trent.
Yes.
So this is perfect timing, man. Look, we're gonna do the best we can to focus on the questions and all this food.
Right.
But this is perfect timing. It reminds me, Thanksgiving is coming up.
Absolutely.
So I know you have things. You probably got things you doing with your family. But are y'all doing anything in the restaurant?
Yeah, absolutely. We are planning to have in collaboration with one of our partners, we'll be working with seniors in the community and having a big dinner for them. And so in November, that's what we do. We focus on the seniors, and come December, we'll do a children's youth Christmas party kind of event. A lot of the families that last year we were blessed to work with families where children are staying in hotel communities in partnership with Youth for Promise and a few other collaborating partners. And we bring the food and they brought all the other elements, and it was just a real nice collaborative Christmas party. So yeah.
We love what you're doing, man.
Thank you, man.
We love what you're
Thank
doing.
you.
And this is Hope Heroes Southern Kitchen, and I guess like this whole buy a bowl, give a bowl. Can you give us a little spiel on that?
Yeah, I think it's very important. We talk about not just having when we were kind of designing this brand of a restaurant concept, because we initially started off as caterers. And the reason for the catering service was to create a social entrepreneurial way of really sustaining our efforts to fight food insecurity. So back in 2020, right in the heart of the pandemic, my wife and I, we were in our prayer room. We were really impacted like everyone else was with the pandemic. And we had been doing mentoring in schools, and we've been seeing this problem with food insecurity. And at the time, our superintendent for Spotsylvania County was Dr. Baker. And Dr. Baker and I, we really got to know each other, and I asked a lot of questions about food insecurity and the lunch accounts. You have kids that are in the school, and the lunch bill was just growing, and I saw things. And he was very, very aware of the food insecurity issue. And what I saw was from the community side, because I also at the time was a youth pastor, serving in the community, working in different neighborhoods, and I was seeing the same problems. And it was the same problems in the schools. So I got tapped to sit on a food insecurity task force. There were members from United Way and YMCA and others, and we were all on that. And then the pandemic hit. And man, in August, I was just like, we were praying like, man, what could we do? And I said to my wife, I said, babe, people need hope. They need hope right now. And she says, yeah. And then she came back and she said, baby, what if hope stood for helping other people eat?
Oh, man.
And that was the birth of the Hub of Hope, which is our 501. We start writing the papers to make it a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We began to really promote the fact of not just giving people food out of our pantry, but literally prepared meals that would get them through for 2 days. We saw people who, especially some that live in a hotel community, they got a mini fridge and a little microwave, giving them, a bunch of dry goods or shelf stable food. We've seen that. I mean, you said I could be honest. I mean,
Absolutely.
Dollar General is often popping up where food deserts exist, and they're offering, just kind of a diet that may not be of the very best for the children and the families in that community, but they're offering something because there's often no other alternatives. And so what we look at is how could we put something together that would offer nutrition. I'm not saying you have to eat salad, when I say nutrition, I'm talking about proteins and, vegetables and fruits and having access to things that really help a person to, their brain to really function as
Grains.
Exactly, grains, things that are beneficial to them. And so that's been our journey. And so Hub of Hope was born in August of 2020. And by 2021, we launched our first service to start, actually we got a kitchen in South Point and started putting this all together to start offering meals to people who were in need. And we knew the people we were targeting, no slight to the homeless or to those that may stand in median strips. We knew that there was another group of people that was not being served, and those families that are just above the poverty level. They're making enough money to not qualify for assistance. But at the same token, they're not making, you make $50,000 in this community and you got 2 kids, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. I mean, a 1-bedroom apartment not too far from here is about $1,700 to $2,300, depending upon what you're doing. I mean, so it is really a struggle for a lot of families and daycare services and things like that. So our clients are making hard choices between, do they fill their fridge or do they put gas in their car? Do they buy their prescriptions that they need to function, or do they find themselves, putting some food on their table? And so we want to come alongside of them because we see it all as a journey overall. And so that's kind of the impetus behind when you say buy a bowl, give a bowl. We're trying to encourage people like you and those who have disposable income. Hey, come and eat with a brand that's altruistic, and while you're at it, do some good, help someone else. You can donate, you can round up at register. We got names of companies on the wall out there that have donated to help buy other bowls or food for other people. And also a percentage of our profit goes right back into helping other people eat. And that's what it's all about.
I love that. I would like that. I just want to know how, I know God just gave her that. That's amazing. Help other people eat.
Sprinkle a little hope.
That's right.
Hope season.
That's right.
Speaking of which, what is your favorite dish here? Is it here?
Oh, put me on the spot.
Is it something secret that you don't even put out here?
Man,
It's for TV.
Hey, man, that's a good question. I'm a pork guy, honestly. I love our pork chops. Very rare can you get a good crispy fried bone-in pork chop. I love our pulled pork as well, and I love our ribs. And so, I just pulled all the pork out right quick. Just tell you. I mean, if I had to pick it, I'm probably going to go with one of them for sure.
What's this dish right here?
This is our biscuit and gravy, and that is a very favorite. We do a Southern brunch on Sundays. We do a full service brunch, and so that's where we go Southern style: biscuit and gravy, shrimp and grits, chicken and waffles, and it's really a very popular brunch experience for many people.
Definitely a Southern kitchen, y'all.
Yeah, I'm saying, I got my eye on shrimp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So with this restaurant now, you opened up
We
this year.
just opened up this year. We opened up the restaurant side of it. Like I said, we were caterers before, and our food service started back in 2021 to community.
Okay.
So it's not like we open a restaurant and now we're trying to say we're going to help people. We literally been doing
helping
it
people first.
way before a
Yeah.
restaurant. That's the
Yeah.
difference. Is like I had a person come at me online about it. And I like it because what other people do is they show me how the public perception can be at times. And they were like, hey, other restaurants do this, so what makes you guys any special? And I said, listen, we're not out here trying to be special, number one. Quite honestly, we don't post photos of the people that we serve, the 250 some thousand meals that we've done already and growing. We can tell you who they are because every single meal is requested. It's not like we walk out handing out plates. We don't do that. They go online, which means they've taken that step to say, hey, I'm in a hard spot. I need a little help. Otherwise, we're going to continue to build up our resources and try to, get profitable to be a impact, for greater needs we see. I mean, we work with the sheriff department. They had a camp for underprivileged kids. I hate to really say it like that, but just students who already were in tough situations. And we came and we fed about 300 some kids. And that's what we want to do. There's other great restaurants out here that are doing things and other brands that are doing things. I love it. And if we're bringing rise to that, cool. But our real impetus is that this is a passion for us. This is what wakes us up every morning. This is what makes us happy, is making a difference for other people. We've been doing that before the restaurant. So we started the nonprofit in 2020. 2021, we had a little kitchen. It was not open to the public. We were cooking and we were preparing meals and we were getting meals out and we were serving the community at large. So I mean, vets and seniors, and I've seen all kinds of people that you wouldn't even know. And that's what's crazy about this. There are people sitting right beside you. Your neighbor could be going through facing food insecurity. And may I make the distinction between the two of hunger and food insecurity. So we all get hungry every day. I get hungry, you get hungry. I'm hungry now, right? Look at this food.
Right.
But we know we can do something about it. But when you find yourself facing food insecurity, what that's saying is, I'm hungry, but I don't have a way, I don't know where my next meal is coming from. And there are kids out there in our school systems right here in this county that when they finish the school day, lunch is their last meal. They don't know that they're going to get a dinner. They go home on Friday, they don't know they're going to eat for the weekend. And I'm not telling you something that I heard. I know I've been in the communities. I could call the communities. I see the faces of the kids that we have worked with, and we know what they face. And so, I mean, real talk is a reality. Food insecurity has a psychological impact. It's more than physiological, it's psychological.
Yeah, I got a friend that's a school counselor, so all that stuff is just tough, man. It's tough to. It's amazing that you're doing something about it. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, there's a lot of people out here that are. But I love that you say it's a passion, because it's not a job.
That's right.
At the end of the day,
That's
it's
right.
not a job. It's you love doing it. As you said, motivates you. It gets you going. Now, you talked earlier. I love that you guys just opened, but there's so much history already behind this restaurant. You touched earlier on. I think a big word you used was it dignity.
Dignity, yes. Yes.
And so tell us your past, how it came to be.
Yeah, so, the way God works in our life, a lot of times, I just see it like a journey, right? You're on a journey, I'm on a journey, we're all on journeys. And experiences that I have when I'm going through them at times, I don't always understand why I'm going through them. Sometimes it's not till the other side of that valley you went through that you go, oh, this is why. And for me, what it looked like is, a little history about me and my wife. I was a mortgage banker. of course, my family has catering and other experiences that I used to run food carts and things like that. But I'm just talking about professionally back, I'm gonna date back to 2006, 2005, 2006, okay? Coming up through the 2008 crisis. So I was a mortgage banker at the time. You all know what happened in 2008. And many people, professionals like myself, we had to pivot and reinvent ourselves. For my wife and I, we had 27 people working for us, and we had to wind down our company. We had to, we could not continue with the market forces that changed. And we used to call them twilight faxes. We would come in, and now Wells Fargo Wholesale Division is no longer processing yet. We had all of our conduits and others that were going, and we were licensed by the state. We were working, doing things the right way. But when that happened, for the next couple of years, my wife and I, we had to pivot. And by 2012, a part of that pivot was I accepted admissions into Georgetown University Executive MBA program. My goal was to come up this way, complete the program, right? Just really kind of survive through that program, get a good government job, and me and my family take care of me and mine. That was my plan, okay? God had a different plan, because when we moved up this way, it was tough. We didn't know anybody. We didn't have any real support. I was doing some freelance consulting and going to school at the same time. We lived in Kilburn Crossing Apartments over off of Harrison Road. We used to spend a lot of time, I thank God for Rappahannock Community Library, because I printed a lot of papers, research documents. Thank God that was free to the community there. That library, man, was huge. I mean,
you paid it back, kid.
Yeah, I plan to, man. I plan to give back to the community. That's it, man. That's it. But I did a lot of studying and research in that library, in between. But there were certain times at Georgetown that we had what was called residency weeks. So like one of our residency weeks was statistic boot camp and business planning residence. And so we would have to be at Georgetown for an entire week. And they would open up that first day and they'd be like, all right, here is all of the hotels that you could stay at. And I looked at these and man, they had Ritz-Carlton, they had like $194 a night places. Like, we got a little discount for you. I was like, $194 a night? Hey man, I'm in the heart, it's nothing I could do, and I couldn't afford gas back and forth, all week, and it was a struggle until, God opened a door later, several months into the program. I actually met one of my colleagues that lived less than 5 minutes from me. His company paid for his vehicle, and that door opens up later for me. But at the time, initially,
You had to stay up there.
I had to stay. I couldn't go anywhere. And I told my wife, and I'm sending a little money back, and I'm doing everything I can. And I'm in this program, and I'm talking about people from Pentagon, ExxonMobil. People that have means was in this program. And never did I let on how severe my struggle was. Have you ever been there? You know what I'm saying?
Humility.
You know what I'm saying? But but sometimes it's also self-preservation, right? Like, man, I look at my bank account and there is like $1.50. And I'm hoping to make it until the person that I did work for pay me next week. And if you've never been in those situations, you don't understand the struggle of what the face of brokenness looked like, right? Whether you call it poverty or brokenness, right? There's a poverty line, but brokenness is a whole nother level. Because people expect you to be able to pick up your tab, but you can't. People expect you to be able to chip in.
I don't even want to say what I want to say.
Wait a minute, I thought this was a real show.
We've been there, man. We all been
there. You're right, man. There's some black people broke and white. That's what it is.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? I've been there.
Okay, man. Well, for those that feel me, you feel me. And as a family, having a family, there is an added pressure. I'll give you this. This is just being real about our story. I mean, I'll be in Georgetown, man, and I'm taking notes, and my phone go off. Boom, and I put it down, go off again, and I look down. It's my wife, and we got this. I mean, her and I just celebrated 25 years of marriage. She is my soulmate. I love her. I thank God for her. I couldn't do anything that I'm doing without her support and her commitment. And it's been some tough times. It's still some tough times, but you know, we've been persevering on this journey. And I'm gonna tell you, man, she would call me and I would step out of class and I'm like, hey babe, what's going on? And she would say like, which card? I hated that question. Which card? And I would say, try Wells Fargo. And then, look, let's just try it. Maybe, just possibly, I still had enough to cover what was needed. I said, try Wells Fargo. And she would try it. She was like, nope.
Man, at least she asked.
Yeah.
Someone asked.
At least
she asked, bro.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And so, I mean, I'm in this program. I know that I shouldn't be there, right? Because for all intentional purposes, I can't afford to be there. But if I don't figure a way to survive and be there, my family doesn't see a better future. I'm really fighting to go forward in the midst of being pulled back. And that's real talk. And those are the people that we are seeing, that we're serving. And I'll tell you more about that. And so here I am at Georgetown University. You know, my wife has had to walk out of grocery store lines a few times on situations, or only could get a few things. And I'm waiting for, you know, this money to come. And I can't afford the hotels. So what I did was I went to the third level, study as late as possible, go up. I parked up on the third level of the parking deck, and I slept in my van at night. And the only way I could pull that off for the short period of time that I had to, and I want to be clear, only for about maybe 6 or so months that I had to go through this before things started to pop.
Only 6 months.
We talked about this last show, about making it out the car. So you're one in a million.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it was, I saw it as a temporary state that I just needed to go through this. When you talk about dignity, I needed to try to preserve my dignity. If a colleague would have come up and knocked on the window or whatever, So is study late as possible. They're all gone. Parking deck empty. Catch some snooze. Get up as early as possible. Go into the Yates Center. Work out. Put my tie on. Go up into McDonald's School of Business and focus. And that went on for a few months. I remember when I would go, a part of the program, breakfast and lunch was a part of the program. So I got to eat in a dining hall. And one thing I've learned, this is about being Southern, you know, in any institution, you don't just try to aspire to meet the big I's and the big U's. You get to know the janitor, the custodian, the cafeteria worker. And for me, it was all a part of me speaking, getting to know them, talking with them, purely just because they're people. Genuinely getting to know them. And not knowing anything, one day one of the ladies came out and who I used to talk to all the time. How you doing? How things going? She said, hey sugar, come here a second. And I don't know what caused her to do this, to pick me out. But she says, you know, most of the people around here act like we don't exist except you. You take time and you talk to us like we matter.
That's right.
And she says, we happen to have some extra food left over. do you want some of it? Now, I don't know if she was supposed to, okay? All right? Her name will remain in my heart, but I will tell you, she had no idea that that food was necessary for me to make it through.
Let me tell you, you're the third person this week that has told me a story like that. My friend at church, my actual therapist, and then me, the pest control guy, did the same thing to me. Then I hear a sermon this morning about how God will use people to do angels' tasks. You see?
That's right.
And that's what that reminds me of. And to be honest, like your whole story is so inspiring because it sounds like the Will Smith movie, Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, I love that movie.
That's what it's like.
I love that movie. I love that movie. It connects with me in so many ways. Him trying to sell that bone density scanner, and not that I was selling those, but I mean my consulting engagements, hoping to close a deal, because I love how he worded it like it gave him another 30 days of oxygen.
Yeah.
When you think about that, it's suffocating when you can't meet your obligations.
When you have that pressure on you from others.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got your family's counting on you. His family was counting on him, and I get it. I mean, to me, those are the people like Will Smith in that movie, the character he played there. You know, it really, that's what we are dealing with. I could tell you stories about a veteran that we've helped. She had a 14-year career in the Navy. Then the Navy did a forced drawdown. She lost her career, went into a state of depression, lost her place of living. Her and her son were sleeping in a car, trying to survive. She got some help, got back on her feet, got a job with the United States Post Office. And the first thing that came knocking on the door was garnishments from before. See, we forget that stuff, right? Like, okay, we helped her, she's back on her feet. But now garnishments, when they finished with her check, she had I think she told us $45 to survive for 15 days for her and her son. So a service like what we've done helped her through that period. She hasn't needed our service anymore. But you see what I'm saying? That's just people.
Is that the biggest reward for you? Is that why you do this?
It is.
And what do you intend for this Hope Heroes Southern Kitchen to do for this community here in Fredericksburg? And do you intend on making this a chain?
So that's a great question. We have bought the rights to franchising Hope.
Okay.
We would love to see, we've been approached by 2 other communities that would love to see what we're doing here in their community. But this is the first community we got to prove it in. And I'm gonna tell you, Spotsylvania is hard. It's hard. It's tough. It's a tough community. There's a lot of dynamics. We are not here to show up other people. We're not here for, bragging rights or to prove. We're not here for any of that. What we're here for, Hope Heroes, is designed to be it is a for-profit, B enterprise, social enterprise. We did not make the restaurant nonprofit. It is not.
I thank you for clearing that up. I wanted to ask you that because I didn't know if you needed to call your lawyer. But M-Easy here has a nonprofit, so if you could break that down for him, us, and the audience of how that. Repeat that one more time in layman's terms.
Yes. So when you structure a corporation or a business, we've structured Hope Heroes to be a B corporation, basically a Virginia Benefits Corp. A lot of people don't know about B corporations. Across the country, there are precedents for B corporations. Matter of fact, Ben & Jerry's is a B Corp. A lot of people don't know that. There's a lot of companies that have set themselves up as a B Corp because they take profits from their operation and invest for the benefit of a social or an environmental cause.
Gotcha.
There's another one it's slipping my mind at the moment, but they take their profits and they totally are trying to save the environment. That's their goal.
You do great on taxes that way, don't you? I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, if you survive, for us in this industry, restaurant industry has very, very thin margins. It's a very tough business. Food costs, labor costs, taxes, you have to manage so many things, okay? So you have to really build a brand that becomes very popularized in order for you to be able to have that, to be successful. Now, people say, oh, well, see, I knew it, your 3 to 5% is never gonna happen. And why 3, why 5? Let me say that. When we cater, we are able to garner closer to 5% profit. When we're just out of the restaurant sales, it's closer to 3%, okay, if all things happen the right way. You say, okay, so if you're not profitable, then you're not giving any money. But see, here's the problem, the reality about that. We're already giving before we're profitable.
that's true.
We're doing the meals anyway. Okay, we're not waiting for profitability to decide if we're gonna give a meal.
They giving before the restaurant existed.
Before the restaurant existed, and people are missing that part of it. The Bible Giveable, now when people give in an earmark it, it's going to Hub of Hope, the nonprofit. It doesn't come to the restaurant. It goes straight to Hub of Hope, the nonprofit. And so the nonprofit is a 501c3 designed to fight food insecurity. Hope Heroes is a for-profit designed to help create a sustainability plan for fighting food insecurity.
So Hope Heroes is the A, basically. Hub of Hope is the B, underneath of.
So the
Heroes.
two of them are, we could call them sister organizations, but they're not like in an hierarchical structure.
Okay.
They, Hub of Hope, being a 501c3 number, has a board, okay, made up more, I and my wife are actually stepped into more of the operator side of this. We're not on the board. So we have a board of directors. My wife and I serve as executive directors and lead for that cause. The Hope Heroes restaurant is an actual for-profit, okay, social enterprise. We're not in it just to make money. That's not the goal. We need to make money so that we can create and support what we call as the Hope economy. And that is helping other people eat. We would love to be sustainable and not have to. Let me tell you this about nonprofits, for example. I've been in nonprofits for many years. Many years I've done nonprofits, working down in Richmond and other places. And what I often see with nonprofits is they themselves are pretty much standing on median strips waiting for donations. That's what the nonprofits do. Could you donate? Could you donate? Could you donate? And if you don't give them money, that they're not going to survive. We know people still need to eat. So we've been sending out meals and serving folks regardless of whether we've had all the money to do so. We started off asking people just to give to the nonprofit, and it hasn't always worked out well. We've had people renege, fail to come through, whatever reason. Sometimes their life changed, whatever the reason. But the needs don't stop. So we're trying to build a social enterprise, a social entrepreneurship way of being able to continue to meet the need. And we're telling people, look, if you can't give over here, just come eat for good. That's all you gotta do, just come eat for good. Eat with us. And let us, help us make a difference. And that's what we're trying to do.
And Lizzie, I know you were in the hospitality industry for a while, so and you know it's hard, right? I know it's hard from your experience. You just say it's a tough business to get in. Why did you choose this?
Very great question, very good question. You know, restaurant industry has the verticals to really make a difference. The stat, this is an old stat, there's a new stat. Over 800 billion pounds of food are wasted in America every year. And we worry about people getting a meal. You talk to many restaurants, and I'm not gonna, disparage any, because they're my colleagues, but you talk to many restaurants, and I'm gonna tell you what happens. They're afraid to take their leftover food and give it. Why? because of lawsuits, because of certain things that happen. They can be sued, right? If food isn't kept in temperature control and those kinds of things. So what we have designed through a nonprofit structure, we are able to give food through Hub of Hope and let the restaurant be able to also recycle much of its food to Hub of Hope, who then makes a difference in giving it to people. Does that make sense?
That's brilliant.
You get it? I mean, this food here can't be served and sold. Cannot. My staff is going to enjoy what they can today.
But it can be given.
But it can be refreshed, packaged, and served and given
Gotcha.
through the nonprofit efforts. And so we're careful, we're making sure we're doing things in a way that still doesn't hurt people or harm people. Man, we got mac and cheese that can't go back on the line and be sold. But boy, you put a little bit of a little bit of heavy whipping cream and some milk and a little bit of cheese and put it in our combi ovens, break it out. Oh my gosh. Man, I'll take it home and I'm telling you, man, I'm like this. Let's eat it. You know? That's right. But we may only refire something one time to our line. We're not gonna sell it to the dining room. And so that's very important.
What else you got, Reese? Because we gotta get out this man's hair, man.
We talk about the customers, the biggest customers. We talk about
Yeah, he said it's not the guys on the median of the strip. It's the working class folks that just can't make the end. That have food, that face food insecurity.
That's right. So for our nonprofit, our target are definitely those families that are just above poverty level and need a little assistance. That's who we go after. Even though we would feed someone off the median strip or someone homeless, we wouldn't turn them away. But who we're targeting, our people get in touch with us. They have cards often.
Okay.
They pull right up in front of the restaurant. First of all, they contact Hub of Hope. They go to hubofhopeusa.com. Yep, and right there in the top right hand corner, there's a little button that says Hungry. Click on it, and you give us your name, your cell number, and if there's any dietary considerations. We think just because you're in a hard situation, it doesn't mean that you have to eat pork or you have to eat beef. Hey, I'm vegan, I'm vegetarian, but I'm struggling. You have a right to say that, and we're gonna customize a menu to try to meet that need. You see, because again, we're not just, we want to keep the dignity in this whole process for people.
So you said Hub of Hope
USA.
HubofHopeUSA.com. We want to put that out there for everybody. We all go through tough times, so
Yo, this is we had a food bank right now. This is serving as a food bank at that point.
Well, see, so I do collaborate with Dan Mayer, who is the CEO of the Fredericksburg Regional Food Bank, and they do a great job. They serve people boxes of food for their pantry, and there's a lot of agencies, church groups that come and pick up, and then they distribute it out to other people out there, right? So that's more, if you can think about push versus pull, right? Food bank pushes out a lot of food, and they push it out, and the agencies, the sub-agencies push out. The church groups, I love it. They push out to communities. You need food, you need help, we got you, right? For us, Hub of Hope is different than a food bank in that we're providing prepared meals and we're pulling people. We're saying, hey, if you need help, go to our website. Our community coordinators get in touch with you, design the meal, boom, you pull up, put your hazards on. At our restaurant, we roll it right out. You don't know the difference in I'm serving a person that has needs versus a person that's catering. And that's what we're doing. And so it's all through the nonprofit that the requests come in. That request is shared with our kitchen staff. And every Thursday especially, we have a list of families. This past week, we had 5 families that we needed to help. And we actually prepared the meals, package it, just like our catering, and roll it out.
It's beautiful, man. So how do you donate to this? Website?
Through Hub of Hope, yep. If you go to hubofhopeusa.com, there's also a button there for donate. Get involved, make a donation. If you come into the restaurant, you can say, I want to donate to Hub of Hope. The restaurant will restrict those funds and give it to Hub of Hope as well. We've had people come in and want their name on the wall as businesses to say, hey, we want to get behind, and everything for that wall goes to Hub of Hope as well. The restaurant is trying to raise awareness, engage people. I come tableside and talk to folks about, what we're doing and how we do it.
No Cap Radio gonna get on that wall. How you
No,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank you.
we want to give a bowl, man, get some bowls.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It starts at $1,500 and it goes up from there. And there's bigger spots, and you see the American flag in the center of it, of that wall.
So we gonna make the wooden wall.
The wooden wall.
Not the.
Yeah, you can
Hey,
put a
I'm
wooden
thinking
wall.
of the other look with the business cards. The
Oh,
panels.
yeah, that's different.
Oh,
We going
yes.
with
the real wall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I want to give a shout out to Illusion Wraps, Brian over at Illusion Wraps. They donate the placards that we put there. So they will do it for every person that gives. We had a guy last week, Turner Pools and Spa. They donated. Yes, sir.
We get on that wall, man.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
man. I
This
appreciate
is
that.
so unexpected. I mean, we come in here to learn about, you
Thank
and your restaurant, what you do, but you educate us as well, and that's a
Thank
big thing for us.
I feel I could take a test on this right now.
Oh, man.
This
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Thank you.
We just thank you for, what you're doing is commendable.
Thank you.
So we
Thank
just want
you.
to thank you, and, anything we can do to help. I mean, you touched on a lot of things, being a mentor, being
Yes.
a youth pastor. you
Yes,
said.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so much you're doing.
Yeah,
I
We
appreciate that.
it.
And helping us get the word out the right way. I mean, listen, I like when people hold us accountable. We don't mind that. We're not perfect. There's been people that have said things, say, hey, look, this is what it seems like you're saying to us. Talk to us. We'll tell you what we're doing, and we're willing to be, held accountable. But at the end of the day, man, helping us to communicate clearly. Like you say, at first glance, you may think, oh, it's a nonprofit restaurant. No, it's not. It's a for-profit restaurant with a nonprofit mission. And that's what we're really big on.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Thank y'all guys, man.
Thank
Thank y'all.
you.
Hey, man, thank y'all for having me. Thank you for having me.
Been a pleasure,
It's been a
man.
pleasure. Yes.
This is No Cap Radio, y'all. Make sure y'all donate, like, subscribe, comment, all that. We need it all. No Cap Radio, we out.